Hey there, it's Anthony Murphy, and if you're looking for a podcast that can help your business become an iconic brand, this could be the show for you. We talk to talented business owners, entrepreneurs, and marketers on a range of topics while also diving into the latest trends in digital and social media marketing. All right, let's jump into this episode. Welcome back to the Open for Business podcast and audio. It is awesome to have you with us, and I hope you are doing well wherever you are listening to this show around the world. So today we are talking to the founder of ActiveRelay. His name is Dan DeWitte, and he has built ActiveRelay, which is a payment platform enabling you to set up and sell within minutes if you're an ActiveCampaign user. Now, ActiveCampaign is an email software provider, and it is the one that I use for all my business emailing needs. And the beauty of ActiveRelay is that it literally is the payment gateway, the payment platform that integrates seamlessly with ActiveCampaign. So if you're selling products or services and you use ActiveCampaign, then ActiveRelay is a product that you really need to know about. Integrates with payment platforms like Stripe and just creates a really seamless, headache-free payment platform and transition for your customers. So Dan was awesome to share some of his time with us, and I'm going to let Dan explain exactly what the platform is and how he started the business. So if you've got any questions, guys, for the show, please do remember, take a screenshot of the interview, of the episode on your phone, upload it to Instagram stories, tag me at Anthony G. Murphy and leave your question, and I'll answer it for you over there on Instagram. All right, let's dive into the show. Dan DeWitte, thanks for joining us on Open for Business.
No, thank you very much for having me.
Beautiful. Now, mate, before we get stuck into the interview and tell people what you're about and what you're up to, I've got to ask you the first question that I ask all my guests on the show, and that is, when you were a kid, what did you always want to be when you grew up?
Oh, when I saw this come through on the email, I had a slight chuckle to myself. When I was very young, I wanted to be a dump truck driver or a garbage man.
Wow.
Because I was fascinated by the garbage truck that would come pick up the wheelie bins.
It is pretty cool.
That was my initial first thought, and then thought a firefighter would be pretty cool as well. So they were probably my two main fall in love jobs as a kid.
Awesome.
As weird as they are.
That's right. I think because you're going to be about the 35th guest we've had on the show, and we haven't had dump truck driver yet, so it's always good to get a fresh one.
Yes, winning.
That's it. All right, mate. Can you tell us just in 30 seconds just a little bit about yourself, and while you're at it, tell us a little bit about what you're up to before you started your business.
Yeah. So I'm 26 now. I grew up, born and raised in the Northern Territory, so the top part of Australia that's stinking hot.
Yep.
Most of the time. So I grew up there. We moved down to Canberra, where you thought I was hanging out.
Yep.
Moved down there for about a 10-year stint. Fast forward that, finished college, high school college in Canberra, went on, did some odd study stuff in there, remained in the creative space, so very far from the dump truck, garbage collector, fireman type scenario.
Yeah, definitely.
Spent a little bit of time in the ambulance service in Canberra, as well as running a photography design business on the side. So
wow.
Fast forward that now, while in Canberra as well, started a real estate tech product, which we built, launched and sold in the space of 3 years,
Yep.
which was really quite exciting. There was a lot of learnings out of that platform for me personally, as you know, as I grew to learn, job roles that I've never experienced before and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then if we fast forward again, got married in February last year, went around the world, started ActiveRelay, another SaaS-based product, and here we are today. I just spent my first night in a property we're renovating in Launceston, Tasmania. So we don't have hot water running at the moment. It's just cold water. So the shower was quite cool, to say the least, this morning. But it's exciting to be in here. We pretty much gutted the place and we've rebuilt it from the ground up. which has been really, really quite exciting. So that's kind of the short and sweet of where I am in life right now. But there's been a multiple other businesses and side ventures and consulting stuff all throughout that gamut of
Mate,
time.
You've been very, very busy. I think we could eat up 45 minutes very quickly. But we will stick with ActiveRelay, which is your main focus at the moment, is it?
It is now, yeah. So I moved out of marketing automation consulting, predominantly with Infusionsoft. Now doing that with ActiveCampaign and ActiveRelay. Okay. So I've phased a lot out of that and into the growth of ActiveRelay now.
Excellent. So for anybody listening in who may not be very familiar with ActiveRelay or mightn't be familiar with SaaS products in general, tell us a little bit about the product and how you developed it.
Yeah, definitely. So ActiveRelay is a payment platform for ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign is an email marketing CRM. There's a million out there. I chose ActiveCampaign because it's a great entry-level tool for the business owner that wants to just start exploring the online space and email marketing and marketing automation, but also has the capacity for the large-scale business that wants a robust CRM platform. So I find it to be a beautiful sweet spot. It can scale with the amount of not only staff but also customers you have in your database. So you can start from square one and work your way up, where other platforms tend to for instance, Infusionsoft, it's a $2,000 buy-in before you even start.
Yeah, exactly.
But that again is a completely different kettle of fish, because that is a whole different spectrum of tools that platform offers. So the reason I'm talking about ActiveCampaign is for those listeners that don't understand the CRM space. My tool, ActiveRelay, is purely built for ActiveCampaign. So ActiveRelay is that payment platform. And what we do is we allow users like yourself, Anthony, the ability to set up and sell your products and services online in a matter of minutes. You simply create an order form, you connect all the data to your ActiveCampaign account, and bang, away you go. Now, the reason, the core aspect here is actually we push all that purchase data into ActiveCampaign. Now, a lot of like, you can use whatever payment platform you want under the sun in the online space. But 9 times out of 10, they don't actually connect to the level that we do with your ActiveCampaign. And the real bonus of that is you can do automated follow-up, automated sequencing, onboarding, access, denials, and all that jazz automatically. So this is saving you hours in a week from doing manual processes of going into your Stripe account, going, which person did purchase what? Okay, I need to go into my email system and see what that email address is, see if they correlate, and then give them access and send them on journeys. And that just takes time. So, and
I think for someone who is starting out or isn't hasn't used CRMs before, or may not be as techie as other people, like, that can be a big hurdle to get over too, like to connect your CRM with something like Stripe and then do the reconciling, and it becomes really, really difficult. So I suppose that's the ActiveRelay is the solution to that, isn't it?
Definitely. It is a mind-boggling space, but people make it out to be harder than it actually is.
Yes. Yep.
Like, it's really straightforward. It's a case of following the bouncing ball.
Which I think is sort of the case with most things. If we're probably talking about older generations here, not picking on them specifically, but people who technology can make things so much easier these days, but sometimes people are a bit afraid to jump into it because they don't understand it, or it might take a lot of time to learn. But these days, and I'm sure you've made ActiveRelay, it's so easy to use. It takes the hard work out of things. So even though you mightn't understand it, it's once you get into it and you have a few runs through and you understand it, it's really simple after that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you nailed it on the head there. For the generations that are not as savvy on the computers or just technology in general, like you and I, that does bring a challenge to understanding this whole online space and this online sphere and what you do within that, and the tools and the systems that you bolt together to actually make a full-blown product work. Now, that just comes down to simple learning. Now, there is a gap in the learning space here, because not everyone learns by doing an online course.
No, that's
Some people learn by being handheld through something. Some people learn by watching videos or written content or a mixture of both. So it's finding that balance that actually works for you to make that work. And that's something that I've really strived for in the whole onboarding process of ActiveRelay. Is I've tried to give as many different options or different mediums so people can consume to actually make the experience better for them. Naturally, I'm not going to get everyone because that would be impossible.
Exactly.
But that's something that I consistently strive for, is to make that online experience not only seamless but also more straightforward to work.
Yeah, perfect. And like going back to it mightn't work for everybody. I mean, it's that old thing of if you try and please everybody, nobody will like it. So
exactly.
Yeah, and which is a good thing to carry out through any business. Really, is not try to please everybody. To focus on what you're good at and go from there.
Definitely.
So, can you tell us what was the point where you came up with the idea of ActiveRelay? Like, what was it? Were you sitting at ActiveCampaign one day and you just thought, "Gee, this is really annoying. I reckon I could build a solution around this." Where was that point?
Little over 12 months ago, I was sitting down with a bunch of consulting clients that I consult for. I also had a mini digital mastermind, so I was sitting down with those guys as well. And the consistent headache was there was either the users that were using Infusionsoft. Now, Infusionsoft has a payment platform built like natively in the platform. It's part of the platform.
Yep.
So there is the small businesses that I was working with that had that, but were struggling to justify keeping that expense, because we're talking like $500 US a month just to maintain Infusionsoft. Now that's a drop in the ocean if you're making bank and you're rolling in it.
Yep.
But if you can go and save 4/5 of that price tag in a different like technology stack, and a technology stack is a group of technologies that bind together and that work. It was kind of a more feasible option. Now, there are competitors out in the space for ActiveRelay, but none of them have made ActiveCampaign the forefront. So that's where I really chose to go down the ActiveCampaign route, because I love what they're doing. I love their customer support. I love where they're going as a platform. I think it is brilliant.
Yep.
And it was just kind of a natural alignment. And I sat down with my lead developer a little over 12 months ago, and I go, all right, this is the problem that I want to solve, and this is how I want to create it. Here's some of my harebrained sketching ideas. And because I'm pretty creative, I use Photoshop and Illustrator and InDesign and all that all the time. Like every day I'm in there.
Yep.
And I drew up a complete administration dashboard. Admittedly, when I submitted it to him, he was like, "You're missing a couple of fields there." And I was like, "Yeah, I understand that."
Yeah.
And it was, all go from there. But minimum viable product, we were, to develop something from there. So doing all of that, was no easy feat, as it is starting any business really in this day and age, compound by the fact that I'm actually building something from scratch.
Exactly.
Off my own back. So this startup is purely self-funded, self-driven. There's been definitely some staffing challenges. I hired and fired a complete new team about 6 months ago because of their lack in performance, which was quite frustrating. But now we're on a solid road to growing, and I brought all of that team in-house. So I have a very small team and myself pushing the platform moving forward. But that problem point was, you can have a PayPal button on your website, you can have a Stripe button on your website, you could have WooCommerce set up or some other configuration payment processing tool. But it was just, can I swear?
Yeah, go for it, mate.
It was just a dick ton of work to try and make something actually work. And then 2 weeks down the track, you either needed to pay a developer to change it again, or you had to, reconfigure it because it either broke or you wanted to change a price tag or something else. And it just, that whole process was turning a lot of people off in trying to accept that online transaction. And then the clunkiness of it not connecting with a CRM so you could do your automated follow-up and all that jazz, it was just a little bit over the shop.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was the solution that we were solving, was not only doing the whole automated follow-up actioning, but also giving you more time back into your business so you could be focusing on other things instead of trying to see who paid for what and are they in the right email sequence.
Yeah, exactly. Such a good solution. So once ActiveRelay's been developed, and we could dive into that whole story, and I'm sure you'd love to talk about that. But let's go to the point where the program's been developed and the software's up and running. How did you go about marketing it? How did you go about getting the word out there? Did I see you actually went to ActiveCampaign's office? Is that correct?
Definitely. So I've kind of got the knack of if I want something or I want to meet someone, I'll figure out a way to make it happen.
Perfect.
And I don't know how I do it half the time, and it baffles my wife sometimes. Like, I've met some incredible marketers off the back of this, just absolutely like A-class marketers, by simply going, "Hey guys, I have this tool. It does this solution. I want to meet. Let's have a conversation." And I
don't mean to cut you off, but that's the secret sauce right there, is the fact that you actually do something about it. Like, you're not sitting at home saying, no, I can't talk to that person, or they won't want to know what I'm talking about. It's just getting in there and making that call, making that connection, and going from there.
Yeah. And just making that human connection, though, that's the difference. A lot of people go, here's my service, buy it now, where I went with the intention of making a human connection. So I reached out to ActiveCampaign in very early stages of development. I said, "Hey guys, I'd love to sit down and have a conversation with you. I'm currently developing this platform. I've got X beta users on there. I'd love to, have a conversation. I am, in fact, on a round the world trip right now, and I am thinking about popping into Chicago, and I'd love to meet you." Their response was just like, "Heck yeah, come in."
Yeah.
And
excellent.
I came in and sat down with Ted and Brian. They're in the marketing department, but Ted since left ActiveCampaign for greater things.
Okay.
And I sat down with them, and I can just tell their intention, like their understanding of the platform was just, it's just another payment processing platform. But by the end of the 45-minute demo meeting discussion, they were like, "Holy shit, Dan, this is actually greater than what we initially thought." And then we kind of just hit the ground running from there. And ever since then, we've just had a really solid relationship, and I really am forever grateful of that connection that I have with them now. And we've got a swag of features coming in the development pipeline, purely because I went with the intention of, I want to make this for the ActiveCampaign user. I don't want to create a payment platform and then I'll plug ActiveCampaign in, and I'll plug every other CRM in that I can. Sure, that's great for market share. You can get into other CRM spaces. But I went with the intention of, I just want ActiveCampaign users, and I want to create the best online experience for them. And that's been, the biggest draw card for the platform ever since.
Exactly. And that's what would have made ActiveCampaign sit up and take notice. Like, that's what excited them. You weren't just someone else creating a solution and trying to, like you said, get as many CRMs on board. It was specifically designed for ActiveCampaign, and it was something that was going to benefit them as a company. So it was a win-win situation.
100%.
Perfect.
100%.
So how long ago was that meeting?
August-ish, somewhere around there.
Yep, awesome. So can you wrap some numbers around the business since it launched? Can you tell us where you're up to at the moment?
Definitely. So the platform, we currently, well, actually, I'll just be completely open and frank with you. We made our first $1,000 in recurring revenue.
Congrats.
On Friday last week.
Well done. Awesome.
So we are a brand spanking new platform. And we turned our first $1,000 in recurring revenue in paying users. And I'm very proud of that, because it's been it's been such a long journey. And from when we initially launched, so we launched in October, November-ish last year. We sprinted, we got a lot of traction at the start. A lot of content went out into the space. And then we hid underground for about 3 weeks. We had some technical bugs, as you do with teething problems and a brand new software.
Of course.
We had a couple of big bugs that we were really just trying to focus on rectifying those, and actually putting in solutions for the users that were already on the platform, using the platform, because there were certain aspects that they couldn't action or do. So we really just made that happen. And then we fixed those in November, and we popped back up in the space in the terms of, hey, we're still here, guys. And we've just kind of been sitting in the space ever since. And, I've spent a little bit on paid advertising, but most of it's just been on organic content and connecting with other marketers, but also other business owners in the space that could potentially even use ActiveRelay as a platform. So it's been a steady growth, and I'm glad it's been a steady growth and not a bang, we've just exploded, because we wouldn't have been able to handle it from a human capacity.
Yes.
The technology capacity, yes, definitely, that's fine, right?
Yep.
We're set up on the Amazon infrastructure. We've got scalable servers, all of that, whiz-banging technical stuff. But from a human element, I am the founder, the CEO, the customer support, the content writer,
You're the CEO, mate, the chief everything officer.
The chief everything officer,
That's
exactly. And I still am that at this point in time.
Yep.
So every day we're growing now, which is really quite exciting. We've seen a real growth spurt from the 1st of Jan. Awesome. A lot of people have come back into the new year, and a lot of conversations that I was having last year was people didn't want to really action anything until the new year for a variety of reasons. They were going on holidays, whatever, taxes, da-da-da-da.
Yep.
But now that we're back in the swing of things, we've had a very steady and consistent growth, and I'm very proud of that. And I've got a very aggressive and ambitious goal for this year, and I'll make it happen. It's just a matter of when that explosive growth really starts to happen, and then naturally, as we continue to keep rolling out features, platform will keep growing.
And a big congratulations, mate. Like, it's putting in the effort. You've got a vision, you've got goals. You're going to make it happen. And I'm on board with ActiveRelay. So I haven't signed up as yet. I don't have a product to sell online just at the moment, but I've definitely got plans of my own down the track, and I can see ActiveRelay being a big part of that. So
awesome.
Very interested to see where it goes. Just switching back for a couple of minutes on the marketing side of things, you mentioned you pushed pretty hard when you first launched. As far as digital marketing goes, or any type of marketing, what have you sort of done in that space?
Yeah, definitely. So the atypical Facebook ad was a really good one. We did a lot of test bed stuff, both region and interest-based scenarios to really see, because you can't actually market ActiveCampaign on Facebook itself. Like, you can't actually market against people who like that CRM, where you can with others. Yep. So I did a lot of testing around interest profiles and other profiles of people in the digital space to see what the reaction was, which was, we had some successes, and then we had some complete flops, which you will always get in online advertising.
Of course.
But the main focus has been around the whole content strategy and the education of that. Because I'm not telling people, ActiveRelay is great because we do all of this stuff. It's, well, you integrate ActiveRelay, but this is what you can do with it.
Yes.
So it's not all about the feature functionality. We can apply tags, add you to the list, do all of that jazz.
Yep.
It's more of a case of, well, we can actually assist in giving you an automated follow-up process by implementing this, ABC automations in your system. So it's been the whole focus has been around the education of the ActiveCampaign user, and making sure that they understand that if they implement ActiveRelay, they're actually getting the best out of it. Yeah. And it's not just another payment platform tool that people take for granted.
Exactly. And that's the way we need to market in today's world too. It's not about, here's my product and these are all the amazing features. It's, you need to help the consumer understand, what benefits they're going to get from it, not just how great the product is.
Correct.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a great way to do it. I'm just looking here through the ActiveRelay website, and you've got some of the features here. So for someone who may not have or may not be using a SaaS product like this, some of the features are that there's no coding required, so you don't need to code. It's all done for you. It obviously works on mobile. That's a big thing these days. You've got live analytics. It's safe and secure online. So there are some great features there, and it's all built in and it's all ready to go.
Definitely.
Awesome.
The core aspects are there.
Exactly.
Like, to get you up and running, the core aspects are there. If you want to take it to the next level, you can certainly inject some code. You can make it unique to you, or more unique than what it currently is.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Mate, what's it like to run your own business? Can you tell us a bit about the day-to-day? Is ActiveRelay something you work on a day-to-day basis? What does Dan DeWitte get up to on a day-to-day basis?
A variety of things.
I'm sure.
Definitely a variety of things. No, ActiveRelay is a day-to-day task. A lot of it revolves around education. Again, as I said, education and customer support. I'm doing practically everything. I do have a VA that does the odd support request tickets when I'm either A, not online, or B, there's just a peak demand, and and a lot of that comes back to education. And people are inherently lazy, and they just go to the source to ask the question instead of actually going to Google and asking Google the question.
Exactly.
Which is weird, and we all do it. Even I'm a culprit of that as well. So that's an inherent challenge that we're always going to face, and customer support is probably the biggest one that every business faces moving forward in whatever thing you sell. There's always that element of customer support, and really making that experience as good as it can be. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, but you can always strive to make things better. But most of my day-to-day is I'm generally up around 5:36 in the morning. I'm on the laptop by maybe 6:15, answering anything that came in overnight from the States. It's about prime time, midday for the West Coast, mid-afternoon-ish for the people on the East Coast. So that kind of works out well. And then my day-to-day could be anything. It could be doing an interview with you. It could be offline, writing content. It could be recording videos. Over Christmas, I have been renovating a house, so that's been in the mix as well. So there's just a variety of things. But I'm also working on a lot of the growth of ActiveRelay, and really focusing on what feature functionality we want to integrate, when we want to integrate it, talking with users about how we go about integrating it, and making that happen. And then there's the consulting on the side as well. So I do consult to a few small businesses in how to leverage ActiveCampaign to the best of their ability.
Perfect.
Really make that experience better for them. So that consumes a lot of my time. And then on weekends, I'm out either scuba diving, kite surfing, or mountain biking, or back in renovating the house, depending on what day I feel like doing those side of things.
Yeah, excellent. So just before we wrap up, have you got any advice for any other young business owners or just business owners in general, whether it be starting a business or probably more around creating a product or a solution, and getting it to market? Have you got any advice there?
Yeah. One word: patience. It takes longer than you expect.
Awesome. Love that.
That's the straight up and honest answer. It takes longer than you expect. And if something doesn't work, there's always a solution out there to solve that challenge, hurdle, problem, whatever you want to label it. There is always a solution. So there's always a solution, and patience.
Love it. Patience all the way, mate. All right. Thank you heaps for being on the show, Dan. Really, really appreciate your time. We can definitely all hear that you've got lots on your plate, so I appreciate you taking the time to have a chat.
No, thanks for having me on.
But before we go, how can people best get in touch with you and find out more about ActiveRelay?
Definitely. Well, they can find ActiveRelay on practically any social platform.
Awesome.
Just /ActiveRelay. I've managed to score the domain name for those. Or they could go to activerelay.com. Or if they just wanted to reach out personally, they can hit up support@activerelay.com. And that's all. ActiveRelay is one word for those that are Googling it out in the space.
Perfect.
And I'll be able to engage with them from there.
Excellent, mate. Really appreciate it. And we'll grab all the links and everything and chuck it in the show notes for this episode as well, so people can grab them there as well.
Awesome.
Dan, thanks heaps, mate. really appreciate your time. Going to be watching ActiveRelay very closely, and like I said, I'll definitely be jumping on board in the not too distant future. Thanks very much for your time.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for listening all the way through another episode. If you're hearing this, I really appreciate it. If you got any value from this episode, or you know somebody who could benefit from hearing this, please feel free to share it with them. Most of the podcasting apps now allow you to share each episode to your favorite social network. And if you want to get in touch with me, or you have any questions at all, please feel free to connect with me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Just search Anthony G. Murphy. I'll catch you on the next episode.